Alright, hi, it's Gloria from Eco Glow. I'm just here with Melissa from Kiwi Banana Girl.
Hi.
On YouTube. So amazing to have you here.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to ask you some questions about your life and your travels and hear everything about your story and your journey. So where are you from? How old are you?
New Zealand. I'm 25.
You're 25 from New Zealand. Mm-hmm. And what city are you from in New Zealand?
I've been living in Christchurch.
Christchurch. And is that West Coast, East Coast? Tell us a little bit about like the geography.
Okay. So it's the east coast of the South Island. It's quite a dry climate. Still a bit of rain and gets quite cold in the summer and it gets a little bit warmer. Quite cold in the winter. It gets a little bit warmer in the summer. But I actually grew up on the other side of the South Island where it was a lot more wet and a lot more muggy, but it didn't get too cold, and it's just slightly different climate, a lot more forest over there, whereas Christchurch, it's a city and there's a lot of concrete, I guess.
So what kind of like environment did you grow up in, like in the city or in the countryside?
In the countryside.
Countryside, yeah.
Yeah, beside
Nice.
the beach, between the mountains and the beach.
So I guess you've traveled a lot around the world. What countries have you traveled to?
I don't know if I would say I travelled a lot, but yeah, I've travelled to a few. So Australia, it's very close, of course. Bali in Indonesia, the States, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, and we're in Mexico while we're filming this.
We're in Mexico. We're
Yeah.
in Playa del Carmen right now.
Yeah.
So like what would you say is your favorite country that you've traveled to?
They all have their good parts.
Yeah.
And they all have their not so great parts. I forgot to mention I've been to Thailand.
Nice.
And that's some parts of Thailand. I couldn't choose. I'm sorry. I couldn't choose my favorite. No,
it's difficult.
no.
So I want you kind of tell us, like, bring us through your kind of journey and story, like where you were coming, what kind of lifestyle you live, where you think you're going.
Okay. So growing up on the West Coast and being surrounded by a lot of nature, a lot of more simple living than even what I remember today. And my family and I, we kind of kept to ourselves a lot. So it was just sort of, we just sort of hung out at home a lot, and we'd go to the beach and we'd hang out in the backyard and we'd build things. And then we moved from the city as I got older, and my parents parted ways, and we moved, into, I guess, a bit more of a faster paced life. And once I finished school, I decided I was going to go off, leave home, and do some study on my own. And I've kind of got into business and law and accounting, and they all kind of sound very sort of regimented and kind of, I guess, boring to some people. But what really interests me is the environment and people, and how that can really clash with business interests, and seeing how we can try and minimize or even eliminate how those clashes, try and see if we can get more in an alignment, sort of more syncing of those things, because if you want to work with the system, you've got to do those sort of things.
Mm-hmm. Integrate them together.
Yeah.
So what are you most passionate about, and like what are your kind of ideas about the environment, like of living that lifestyle, or like what do you think that involves for you and for the world?
I don't like to tell people what to do, but I do like to try and influence them if I can, I guess. Very similar to what Gloria's into. She's a lot more in line with it than I am. Reducing the resources that you might use in your everyday life, and and even when you're traveling, like that for me, that sounds like like next level. Mm-hmm. Being able to do that. So if you can head towards that zero waste, and if you can have that sort of goal of getting somewhere in life where maybe you're more connected with nature, maybe you're more connected with the environment, and living more in sync with that. I tend to be more on the plant-based side, so I think that's quite important, especially when you've got privileges of a lot of us, if we've got internet, we have a lot of privileges, and I think we have a responsibility to use them a lot more wisely instead of being ignorant or deciding that it's not for me to care about that, but it's for everyone to care about, whether they might, to some people making the switch of instead of driving to work, cycling to work, it's a big deal for them, and that's great. If people want to do that, I encourage that as well.
I think every little step counts, every conscious act. And what do you consider plant-based then?
So for me, plant-based is basically, it's like 100% plant foods. So a lot of fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, nuts and seeds. I also I care a bit about the animal. Well, I care a lot about the animals. It's an understatement. So I also tend to live a bit more of a vegan lifestyle. So I don't intentionally buy leather, and I don't buy cosmetics that are tested on animals. Which I don't even really buy cosmetics, but that's probably a topic for another day. So heading in that direction as well, because I've got choices and I've got privileges, and actually sometimes, especially in a line with using less resources, it can actually be cheaper as well.
Mm-hmm. So you can save a lot of money.
And save a lot of money and start using your money more in the direction that you actually want it to go. Mm-hmm. Your purchasing power is a lot more powerful than what people think.
Yeah. No, really it really comes down to the individual consumer and what you're buying, and like what kind of companies you're supporting, and as you said, with like the zero waste traveling, I think that it's another thing that people don't think about, because I think that a big thing is like when they're on vacation and when they're traveling, they're like, oh, I'm just traveling. Like for people that aren't like full-time travelers, like for me now that I'm kind of traveling this digital nomad lifestyle, it's different because like people that are traveling, they think, okay, they're going for 1 week, it doesn't really matter what you do. And I think that's the biggest, like a big thing here, because if you think you're on vacation, then okay, it doesn't matter, like, oh, I do that at home, except for like this is somewhere where people live as well, so like it's still someone's living this lifestyle, living in this location, so it's not, even if you're traveling to somewhere, it's still a permanent location for someone else. Yeah. And it's still like what you do still affects that area and that in the world. So
I think also because a lot of the travel that you've done, you've actually really gotten to see more of, what is it that people coming here visiting, what are they doing? Mm-hmm. I haven't gotten to that point in traveling yet. I haven't really immersed myself into that yet, but I have seen it from a point of view of also noticing how some communities that you go to, whether maybe, they can be suffering from certain financial restraints and things like that, but also noticing how sometimes they're not quite connecting the things that we have, or that they haven't been taught yet about don't just throw your plastic bottle in the ocean, or don't just throw your plastic bottle over the fence. It's also noticing sometimes how they're struggling as well to try and make their life more eco-friendly, as they're trying to also reach for, I guess I could use America maybe as an example of them trying to reach towards the goal of, I want to live like they do in the United States, and they want to have these things. And
that's a huge issue around the world today, because like so many people in developing countries, they see it like all they do is watch them like the mainstream media, and they want to be like us, not us, but they want to be like the average Westerner, and that's a problem because like all we're doing is consuming and producing so much stuff, and it's just destroying the planet. So that's really what people need to kind of recognize, that their actions do affect the planet. And like, I guess for a lot of people now, they're like transitioning into different lifestyles, like me and like other people. I'm assuming you as well.
Yeah.
That like, I think experiences are a lot more important and influential in your lifestyle and education and learning, and just like being able to enjoy your life, like being able to travel somewhere, do something, rather than buy something that's not going to give you happiness. But But so you're going off to Peru in a couple days?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
So that should be quite exciting.
So right now, how long are you traveling for, and what's your trip, and what are your plans?
So I've been traveling for 4 months now, and I've got maybe about another 6 weeks, maybe 6 to 8 weeks, probably left to go. A lot of it I've been doing the travel with my partner, and we're parted ways at the moment. He's gone off to do some different traveling, and I mean, to be honest, I really wanted to travel to see how I could grow as an individual, but also how our relationship and also him himself could grow, and just to see what things could come from that. It's, you put yourself through a lot of things in life, and I think traveling like this is possibly another thing that you can do to see what growth comes from it.
Mm-hmm. What do you think your biggest challenges that you faced are, or something that you've overcome?
Sometimes it's just something silly, like you haven't prepared, and you're ended up out in the middle of nowhere, and there's no food and no water, or no clean water.
You're just
you can't
laughing
drink.
about it, just no worries, just basic survival.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're also laughing at it because you've just chosen to
Get lost.
to get in that situation, whereas you're very quick to remind yourself there is actually people out there that are living like that, and not by choice. So sometimes you're both very tired, hungry, thirsty, and you're just trying your best to not bite each other's heads off.
Yeah.
So that's but that's, I don't know if I would consider that a big challenge, but it's just those little things like that.
And I guess now you're this is your first kind of solo journey now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's very exciting.
Yeah. So that should be interesting.
And
I've always wanted to go to Peru since I was 7.
Yeah.
So probably
it's
the
amazing.
one country I've dreamed about
Yeah.
going.
So if you had one thing to tell the world, what would it be?
Oh. That's so hard. It's so hard. I have a slogan at the end of my videos where I always say, I hope you've done something that makes you happy today.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So, yeah, I guess
I hope you've done something that made you happy today.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's not very inspirational, but it's pleasant.
I hope you've done something that made you happy today.
Yeah.
I like it. It's good. It's good. And what's your biggest dream or goal, or if you could do anything, if money were no issue and you could just decide tomorrow what you would do? And I know that you're going into law, and you wanted to go into environmental law. So if you could just have it all, what would it be?
Probably in a world that you wouldn't even need lawyers, actually.
Yeah.
I would be out of a job. I guess we're all living a more conscious life.
Mm-hmm.
Much more conscious life, and everything's a lot more in a line and synchronicity with each other.
Mm-hmm.
That would be almost a utopia.
Yeah, of course. That's what we all want.
Yeah.
That's what we want, of course. But
Yeah.
we're not there yet. But
I guess
for personally, for
okay, that would.
that biggest dream,
Oh,
gotta spill it.
I guess I'm gonna have to go with the vegan one on this one. I think that would be to make it all slaughterhouses illegal.
Oh, what?
All slaughterhouses
Or illegal.
Illegal.
That would be
pretty big.
Yeah, that would be big.
Or even just in one country, that would be still pretty big.
Just getting some policy and getting
Yeah.
That's good. And for personally,
Off of my own.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know we care about the world. I know.
Yeah, I've got to think small. Okay.
If there was no single-use plastic, I would be so happy.
Yeah. I was like, oh, should I do that? So many things we're interested in. It's hard to choose one thing. I guess for me it would be to get to a place in my life where Oh, that's unreal though.
I know, but like I know that because we also like once we like complete goals and stuff, and once we get to the place that we want to be, that we always strive to be, and then there's always more after that. But like for right now and like the next 5 years, or like if you could just like no limits, no.
Okay, it would be probably living in a commune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know.
What would it be like?
But it would be tropical.
Tropical commune.
Even though that comes with its own creatures and things it would have to tackle. But yeah, it'd be definitely living more in a line.
But what would it be like describe what the place would be like?
So it'd be like an eco village, I guess you could say. Yeah. There'd be big gardens, and there'd be a lot of living off the land and just using a lot of resources that are around you. But of course it'd have to be in a location where there is an abundance of plants and plant life.
And what kind of lifestyle would it be like? Would you have internet? What would you be doing? Would you like
Probably not have internet.
no internet?
Probably not.
You gotta share the eco village online. You have to. Yeah.
Okay, maybe
The eco village needs to be online so that everyone can see how amazing it is, and then also adopt that lifestyle.
Okay, we'll have internet. Yeah. I guess like if you can get some sort of electricity running that is some sort of solar, or it uses very little, maybe even water. You can sometimes generate
rainwater or something.
Electricity with water. So that would be handy. But the homes are probably made out of very eco-friendly materials, either things like maybe wood or even maybe recycled materials.
Recycled materials would be very nice. Bamboo and also an earth chip as well.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. But we'd have areas to sleep, and there'd be maybe even you have your own sort of little house, but there might be other communal sort of areas where you'd be able to get together, and there would be like families living there and people that maybe don't have families that are living there. There'd be areas and spaces for children to learn. It wouldn't be living in this modern, I guess, the sort of the way that we teach kids today.
Yeah.
It'd be very interactive.
And like how big?
I'd have to do I feel like I'd have to do some like economic sort of calculations on to find the perfect number, and I haven't done anything like that. Like how much is too much and how much is too little.
What's the perfect community
balance? But like 50 would be
50
would be
people.
pretty good.
And would it be like just a static community, or could you bring in other people? Like, because I imagine for me, I would just love to be connected to a bunch of communities to like travel to and then live in it as well for like travelers.
I guess if we've got the internet, then we can then communicate with other villages that are nearby. And I guess if people wanted to come in sort of for short-term stays, if they wanted to, we'd be able to accommodate that with the exchange of, it's all skill-based. What are you interested in? What can you help? Are you into art? Are you even something like cooking or building or, maybe even teaching other sort of philosophy or life skills that people might need. So
Get some yoga in there, of course, too.
Yes. So there'll be physical activity. But
of course.
Yeah.
And then dream location.
I still don't. All I can think of is it's warm.
Warm, yeah. Tropical. Yes.
Yeah, but if it's not, you could create something like this in New Zealand, and just the climate would be more harsh, and
I guess you'd have to think about winter living then.
Yeah, you'd have to think a lot more about how you insulate your home, things like that, how you're going to get heating. But yeah, you could do it in colder climates like New Zealand. It would work quite well.
Yeah, I guess it'd just be a lot of different architecture and structural things. Okay, well, I need to ask you one final question.
Okay.
Which I'm thinking of right now. So for the world, it's to have no slaughterhouses, and then you're gonna have an eco-village commune. You're gonna live there. And is there anything else? What is one thing that one thing for the world that the world can do right now, or that you can do right now, to be more conscious, or just live a better lifestyle. And then what is one thing that you want to do in your life, that you want to change in your life?
These are still big questions. So for people that they can do at home right now, today, I guess looking at everything that you have in your house or the space that you're living in, and looking at it and going, does that really serve me? Like, can I say when I own this, like this thing is, it's really useful in my life? Am I using it a lot? And is it doing me any good? And that could be anything physical that you have in your home. It's like a couch or an ornament, or even what's in your fridge, and just having a look, like, is that me purchasing this?
Is it helping you?
Is it helping me? Is it helping the environment? Is it helping others? When I'm consuming this, and maybe it's something that you consume a lot, but you're thinking about cutting back. Maybe it's something silly, like, not silly, but like alcohol, or things like that. Like, is it really serving me having this? Is it not? So start really looking at, like, what it is. When you're buying these things, what's making you happy, and what's just become like a mundane thing. You don't know about how it's produced. You don't know about the effects of it afterwards on yourself or the environment, and where it goes.
Nice. And for you, one thing that you would like to
change in my own life?
Yeah.
Just like my everyday life?
Yeah, just anything small or big, doesn't matter. What do you...
I guess right now I need to decide where I'm going to live when I finish traveling, because I still don't know.
Yeah, but
where
you have an idea. You're moving to Australia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, you have the plan to move to Australia, so it's good. No, it's still a plan, right? That's the most difficult part, is just like making the decision. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and things will line up. I mean, that's the most challenging part about being a traveler and like living these kind of lifestyles. Like, people are so stuck in their routine and like their stable lives, and they just do the same thing for their entire life. But I think it's very courageous for people to do this and like move to different places. And like, of course, we want to travel, but and it's really it's not easy doing it, but it's it's amazing. But yeah. Well, thank you so much for spending this time here.
That's all right.
And where can people find you, and can you tell us a little bit about your channel?
So I have a YouTube channel, and that's Kiwi Banana, or you might be able to find it under Kiwi Banana Gal, G-A-L. It's all one word, on YouTube. I'm on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter as well, and Tumblr. But that may be either as Kiwi Banana or Kiwi Banana Gal. But all the links are on my channel. So
Kiwi Banana Gal is G-A-L, right?
Yes.
Kiwi Banana Gal.
Yeah.
And what kind of things do you share?
So I share, I'm doing a lot of traveling while we're recording this, so I've been sharing a lot of just sort of vlogging about that. But I'll do other videos on like veganism, social justice, environmentalism, minimalism sometimes, and just sort of, I guess, alternative thinking, alternative lifestyles. I'm hoping maybe that when I get into the legal industry, I might be able to share a little bit of information about how that can, how people can work with that, and what's in place, or what could change. That's a direction that I wouldn't mind taking my channel.
That's nice.
Maybe in the future.
Oh yeah, so we didn't talk about your activism. So what have you done?
Yeah, so I've done a little bit of activism. I wouldn't say like a lot. I guess some people would say even taking a picture of your food could be seen as activism. But I guess for most people, activism is in the form of going out and being in the public. And so I've been involved with some of the local organisations from when I lived in Christchurch. things like SAFE and Cara and the Christchurch Vegetarian Centre, and I started a vegan club at the university and doing some things with that.
And you went to one event, right? Or you did, what did you do?
Oh, sometimes we would do silent vigils. So we would maybe pick a location and we would hold banners and we would just stand there together in a group and be silent. So not interacting with the public very much in the fact that I'm not talking at them, and they may be talking at me. They could be shouting or an encouragement or discouragement, but you're just being silent. And but we've done fun things as well, like some friends and I on a sort of, not involved in any sort of organisation, but just decided we'll get some boxes of bananas and dress up in bananas and write messages on them and hand them out on World Vegan Day and just say Happy World Vegan Day, give them a banana. So
that's nice.
It's it comes in various forms, and we did a bit of activism yesterday.
Yeah. We just what would you call that? Oh, it's a cube.
Yeah, they call it the cube. So you stand there. Normally there's a group of people standing with laptops, and it may have footage of what goes on in a slaughterhouse, and they'll be wearing masks, and the idea of the mask is just kind of distance the person holding the laptop from the person sort of seeing it. Not so much so that you don't know who they are, but it's just so that if any emotion's coming up for the person that's watching it, it's less likely to be directed at the person holding it. It's the person holding the laptop. They're not really...
They're just sending the message.
They're just sending the message, you know, like it's the message that we want people to be upset about, or, you know, or to have this sort of conscious awakening about, not get angry at the messenger. And then there'll be people around that may be passing out flyers, or they're just there to ask the public if they have any questions about what it is that they're watching, and you know, have they heard about living plant-based, living vegan, things like that.
Yeah, it was really interesting. But yeah, everyone should go check out your channel at Kiwi Gal, and it's amazing what you're doing. Keep doing it, and I look forward to seeing your videos and keeping in touch.
Thank you.